Video games are no longer apolitical, not just mere entertainment. It is now an art form, you see, and must therefore have certain values and correct standards. I guess the SJWs finally got what they wanted. Everything is political, including video games. And since this is, of course, China we're talking about here, there's a couple other things as well. If regulators can't tell the character's gender immediately, the setting of the character could be considered... Oh, I love it. Just savor it for a second. The character could be considered problematic. And red flags will be raised. The horseshoe strikes yet again. Okay. China is, of course, doing its next round of censorship, as we all knew would happen. See, this is the thing, right? Far too many people are afraid of just government regulation in general, which is why Twitter and Facebook, long may burn in hell, are allowed to just run rampant over any and all legal measures because we don't want to regulate them. Oof, that would be terrible. Forgetting, of course, that we heavily regulate literally every other industry so as to avoid them dumping heavy toxins in the water supply and such things. Something Facebook is currently doing, but in our brains instead, which you would think would be more severe, but oh well, details. But what you actually need to worry about isn't just regulation. There are plenty of good regulation, necessary regulation, and a lot of which doesn't balloon out into problems either. But whenever they start coming for your freedoms, that's when you can be pretty damn sure that it's going to expand rather rapidly, as China is currently busy demonstrating. They're also currently busy demonstrating their leftist roots, of course. Everything is political, even entertainment. And that is why we need some more rules. Oh yes, some games have blurred moral boundaries. Oh, hold on a second. Where have I heard this one before? Players can choose to either be good or evil, but we don't think that games should give players this choice, and this must be altered. We need the correct politics to be reflected in our entertainment. Where have I seen this before? Oh god. It literally is the SJW worldview, but the problem is, of course, once the actual communists get in power, the world will be shared equally by everyone, as it turns out yet again. Socialism leads to absolutely nothing but rampant authoritarianism. That seems to be just an actual, guaranteed, given, granted fact of the observable material universe at this point. And yet, here we are once again, the useful idiots dancing to the tune of China's pipe. And it doesn't stop there, oh no. History simulation games that allow players to change history in virtual worlds will likely ring alarm bells, as this can threaten China's territorial integrity. No shit, that was a reason given. Particularly if Japan and Nazi Germany are involved. I can't imagine why. According to the memo also points out that games which encourage players to destroy barbarians, ooh, spicy, can be reviewed for spreading colonialism. While games featuring Japanese warlords can be seen as glorifying militarism and jingoism. Oh, we wouldn't want that. Japanese jingoism in particular, of course. Chinese, I imagine, is entirely fine because, after all, China isn't colonizing anywhere. They're not militaristic, says China, looking hungrily at that tiny little island off its border. Oh, and not to mention that weird little mountain nation thing, something with a T. I think they have a spiritual leader or something. That province of China. Totally not. On the subject of Japan, oh, and this one's rich too. Listen to this. The memo also warns that many current Chinese games now look more Japanese than Japanese games. Oh, that cultural imperialism. Though, I mean, I suppose they do have a point here. Genshin Impact looks decidedly Japanese, and yet that is Chinese. And credit where credit is due. As much as I hate the fact that Genshin Impact is a Chicom game, etc., man, it gives you an impression of what mobile gaming could be if it didn't all devolve into cookie-cutter clickers. Oh well, subject for another day, possibly. Ugh. There is also another few ones. Use of crucifixes and swastikas should be applied carefully in games, Memo notes. I think in this case, though, the swastika references more to the Buddhist version rather than, you know, the Austrian variant in this case. Then also, of course, the old regulation, wrong set of values must be discouraged, including money worship. Ooh, gets awfully hot in here awfully quickly, doesn't it? And gay love, these must be cleaned up. No homosexuality in modern video games, because that is just not a correct set of values, you know? God damn it. And the worst part is, of course, the modern day left not only are, I mean, hell, if they were to morally condemn this, that would be something, but what leg would they have to stand on? Oh, no, China, you can't have politics in your video games. Oh, really now? This is the problem when you do all of the authoritarian things that you, I don't even know, imagine your opposition is doing, I guess. Because when it is actually happening, you have no moral leg to stand on. You can't say that this is bad. I can, because I've been in opposition to this from the goddamn get-go. Games depicting a fictitious post-apocalyptic world where players are encouraged to kill may not be viewed favorably by censors. Killing, I guess that refers to the moral boundaries again, eh? This entire thing it's in certain ways, it's this weird blend of modern-day leftism and straight-up authoritarianism, which, I do suppose we have been warning of that for quite some time, and yet nobody's really listening, it turns out. Though, you know, it is... More and more people are starting to wake up to it, thank God, and China will lead on as a good example of what not to do. And this probably isn't at the end either, as this will probably continue to go, and in fact, if anything, this is kind of a conciliatory gesture right here, with the regulators laying out, okay, here's a list of the things you kinda can't do, try to avoid them, and we'll add to it as and when we feel like it. Of course, companies like Creative Assembly, who have spent a lot of money marketing their games to a Chinese audience, are probably going to fall afoul of most of these points. Being allowed to play as the bad guy, for example. Strike 1 there on Three Kingdoms. Blood and Gore. Strike 2. Yeah, I know it's a DLC, but do you think that excuse will fly in China? Depicting China as a splintered nation with barbarians invading. Splint 3. Yeah, no. Now, of course, Three Kingdoms is currently available on Steam, the international version, which is available in China with, certain adjustments, which I am pretty sure Valve came to an agreement with China behind closed doors. Whereas Steam International is available in China and is not blocked, you don't have access to the social tab. Oh, you know, where all of the forums are. Weird coinkydink right there. I'm sure it has nothing to do with communication being severely limited in China. Oh, no. Just like I'm sure it has nothing to do with the fact that, quite recently, the Chinese government yeeted the ever-living shit out of every single lefty group in their country on their social media apps. Feminists in particular got the guillotine extra hard. Weird. Again, it's almost as if the useful idiots will be the first against the wall, as usual. Oh well. But again, I do believe this is a little bit of an overture, a bit of a like, okay, you decided to start self-censure, 221 companies, including NetEase and Tencent, so we're gonna be nice and we're gonna actually give you a layout of what you can and can't do, which is... it's more than what YouTube does. Something, isn't it? And at the same time, at this point, I would be very surprised if Steam, the uncensored non-Chinese version, will be available in China for more than a year tops. With NetEase, Tencent, and the government all kind of starting to collude together with one another to get rid of foreign interference. Yeah, I think their days are probably numbered, to be entirely honest with you. And of course, video game approvals have now been stationary for, what, 3 months, I think? It's been a while. Even the no's, this is what you have to change, have completely stopped. Oh, and physical box copies. Man, that's a rarity. I see a rogue copy of Grand Theft Auto in there too. I doubt that'll stay for very long. Sniper, okay, that one might. Is that Death Stranding? I hope not, because that should definitely be banned. Spider-Man, that's fine, no Barbarian Entertainment. Ghosts of Tsushima, that might put the Chinese in a little bit of a poor light in certain respects. Maybe that won't survive too long. They've even got massive QR codes on them. Maybe they just scanned them or something? Just the idea of physical game boxes being sold is a weird thing in and of itself in this day and age. Oh well, China continues its usual. Well, if nothing else, maybe we can hope that this will serve as some sort of example to the crazies over here. Like, hold on a second, is this the future that awaits us? Yes, and don't call it a grave, call it the future you chose. Until next time, I've been Arch, thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you all again soon. Till then, have a good day.